Hey everyone, Gerokz from Gerokz Aerodynamics here. I'm here today with the k1200, my newest ship in the K series. This is going to be a quick video showing you the features and then a quick flight just so you can see how the ship handles. This is a small core cargo transport ship. It has 4 large containers. It can handle currently with my skill set about 3.1 kilotons from Alioth into space. Let's go ahead and go inside. We'll take a look around. The interior is kind of industrial. It's very simple. Nothing, over extravagant here, but it's very simple. I wanted everything to be open and accessible for repairs. It's just got a catwalk into the back here. You can see all of your space fuel containers here. This middle one is for the hovers underneath. The 2 large Atmo tanks power the engines. There's 20 large atmospherics on this. And as you can see, there's a lot of braking power. There is a warp drive tucked underneath in the front. You got your res pad. The console here is simple. I'm sure a lot of these HUDs you recognize from Reddit. They're all commonly available HUDs. Fuel management, damage report, warp estimation. Comes with a space radar. Let's see, we might as well hop in and get going here. Oh, here, I'll show the stats. So currently, the ship is 4.34 kilotons. It's with fuel in it and cargo. A little over 3 kilotons of cargo in this. The fuel, I'm sure you notice, isn't full. It doesn't need 2 large Atmo tanks full of fuel. About 50% is enough to fly for like a couple hours at high altitude, so I'd recommend not filling them. But I did need the tanks to cover that many engines, so that's why there's 2 larges. I mean, you could fill them up if you want, but I think it's kind of a waste. I'll pull up the atmospheric and space stats. Now, keep in mind these stats are with a lot of weight inside the ship, but it still has over 2 Gs of thrust, almost 9 Gs of braking, so it stops quite fast. It's got just enough lift to float or hover at this weight with my skills anyway. The high altitude lift's still pretty decent, and we've still got a pretty decent amount of space thrust and stopping power here. So let's go ahead and hop in it and get going so you guys can see how it handles. I will be using the Dementia Dio Orbital HUD. I don't pre-install this in the ship, so if you want to use it, you'll have to go ahead and add it yourself. I don't do that just because they update quite frequently, and it's always best to grab the newest thing. But I will throw a link in the description for anyone that's interested in using it. Be able to see right away. Even with this amount of weight in the ship, we should be able to get up and going pretty quick. We're going to go ahead and go right on out into space with it. Kind of give it a good dry run with, with the max weight in there. I've done a fair bit of flying in the atmosphere with this, and it handles quite well. And when we come back in, I can fly around a little bit more, but I wanted to give it a thorough test out here in space as well. I went up, tried to go up a little bit steep just to see, but let's get a little speed here and pull up again. I've got, I think, around level 4 of most flight skills. Not the best. Not all of them are up there. I'm kind of working on it, so people with a little bit more flight experience or better skills will be able to do quite a bit more than I can with this ship. But here it looks like we're getting pretty good now. See if we can't pull up and get up and out. There we go. Yeah, that first attempt I was at like 45 degrees. It was just way too steep, but I hadn't built speed yet. But as you can see, we're up and out, no problem. And let's see, up at the top there, you can see our mass is in fact 4.3 kilotons. And it shot out into space, no problems. So, that's basically what I aim to do. I tested the ship originally just with 4 large containers full of hematite. That was kind of the goal. Hematite's a fairly heavy ore. It's like 5 kilograms per liter or whatever. I figured if it can handle that, that's a pretty solid amount. There is space on top of the ship where the ribbing is here. It's sort of hard to see because it's so dark, but you can fit like 5 or 6 extra large containers on the nose, like on the top of the ship. Oh, I forgot to close the door. Whoops. But, if you're doing something lighter like lithium or coal or whatever, lighter materials, as long as you figure out, what that max mass is that you don't want to go over, which in my case, like I said, about 3.1 kilotons is pretty good for my skills. The mileage might vary for you depending on what you've got. Most of the elements on the ship are boosted to level 4. So it does have a little bit of room to grow if you know somebody that can do level 5 boosts. I believe my engines are 5 on the Atmos and the space, but some of the other elements are only 4. See, I think we're high enough we could probably stop. I'm going to take this on a little bit longer flight later, but I kind of wanted to get back in and show you guys how I land it and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and engage the brake. We'll let her slow down. Now, as with my other ships, this ship it's overbraked a little bit, especially in the atmosphere, because I like my ships to be able to land straight down. Not everybody likes to fly that way, but I definitely do. I like to be able to just hit my brakes and float down with really heavy weight. It's safe. It can save you if you have something bad going on. You just cut your engines to 0 and brake. And I'll demonstrate that as we come back in. Please bear with me as I make this entry. I'm not the most experienced space pilot, so it might take me a second. Let's see if I can't get us aligned back to the base there and at least get close. The all of the fuel tanks are accessible from inside the cabin on this, so refueling in space and all that is no problem. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is it does have lights on the bottom. There's 2 large lights. That was a request I had from a few different people that like to do mining on moons where it's really dark and stuff, and the toggle for those is on the dash, basically. I'll show you. It's right here. It actually kind of lights up the inside of the ship a bit too, but that will It's quite a bit of light underneath, so there shouldn't be any problems there. The toggle for the door and the ramp are just inside on the wall. Probably cut this once I get closer to re-entry, just so you guys don't have to watch it. Like, be slow, but... I love the way those space brakes look. They're kind of neat when they're arranged like that. Or in a nice way. I was doing over 3 kilometers per hour when we were at about 30 something kilometers out, and we're still able to slow down no problem. I'm probably going to let it, we're just going to land all the way so you can see that we can just go in vertically without flying out of the stall, if you like to land that way. I'm sure some people will probably yell at me in the comments for going so slow, but like I said, I'm not super experienced at entering the atmosphere, so I'm going to be careful here. Trying to keep it around 600-700 as we approach the edge of the atmosphere. There we go. Now we're in. I got the brake toggled, and you'll see we'll slow right down. And this ship can come even at a weight of 4.3 kilotons. It's just going to float right down, all the way down to like 70 kilometers an hour, and it's still going down. Now at this point, like, if you gun it, rev the engines, and take off, you could probably fly out of it if you're still over 2K, which is fine, but I'm going to go ahead and land, and then we'll take off again, and I'll show how it handles in the Atmo with this amount of weight. Maybe we'll go over and land at one of the markets or something. Kind of pick one here in a second. And first we'll see it. It won't dip into the water or anything. Like, it'll catch. See, no problem. I designed this ship in such a way that it should turn quite nicely without banking. Actually, I better take a look, make sure there's no towers. Okay, it looks like we're right. But if you watch, I'll just yaw a bit. I'm not banking at all, and we're got quite a bit of weight in this ship, and that comes right around. I'm pretty happy with that. I know a lot of people have complained about some of the cargo ships turning really poorly, or, you have to bank a whole bunch. And, I just want this to be easy to fly for novice pilots and stuff. And then I'll do a quick demonstration here of how I like to land my ships, especially when they're heavy. Um, I know a lot of people like to fly in low and land on their hovers. I feel like that's really dangerous, especially when you're heavy, because if you screw up, you just smack the ground. So what I like to do is fly up nice and high. It's cheaper on gas, and then get about here, we'll cut the throttle. See how fast the brake's coming in. Now, keep in mind, this ship is pretty much fully loaded. Look how fast that comes in. I mean, I think it's fast anyway. We're going to try and get centered up on here. One thing to note that is very important when you're braking like this is the brakes will stop your forward momentum before your vertical. So there's a brief period of acceleration where that arrow's coming towards you, where you're falling, but you're not slowing down, going down yet. You're slowing down forward. But once the arrow's under you, then it will slow your vertical. So don't slam on the brakes too close to the ground, or else you'll hit the ground. When you're coming down like this, you can make minor adjustments by angling yourself and like letting the brake on and off. It'll kind of inch you forward or pull you back depending on how you're tipped. See if we can't squeeze in here. That'll do. Then I'm going to hit G, which with this HUD will set you down. Should, anyway. I guess it doesn't want to. We'll just hop out. Hopefully it won't break anything. There we go. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that gives a little bit of an idea of how the ship flies. Like again, I said, I'll post my skills and stuff in the in the description of the video. I wish I had a little bit better light to show it off. I'll try and post some screenshots too, but that's the K1200. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.